Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Stronger from Home Season 2, the last episode on mental wellness. I am Maher Usman from the Employee Welfare Division, your moderator for today. To start the program, let us welcome Sir Earl Ryan Lucito, our Supervising Administrative Officer and OIC of Employee Welfare Division of Bureau of Human Resource and Organizational Development, for a short opening message and for the introduction of our speaker. Sir Earl?
Good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today to welcome you all on the season finale of our Stronger from Home Season 2 online wellness webinar series. So I'm sure today's discussion will also highlight the barriers that can sometimes prevent our employees for having a work-life balance, which sometimes causes mental health concerns. We all know that because of the pandemic, the rapid transition to alternative work arrangement were necessary, wherein most of us are working from home, are facing challenges on balancing work and personal life at the same time. Our fear of not being able to manage this situation can sometimes affect our employees' mental health well-being. So discussion like this one are critical in increasing awareness of the fact that health issues affect people from all walks of life. I am confident that you will agree that this discussion is critical in raising awareness on the ongoing need for all of us to prioritize mental health and well-being. So once again, we welcome you all to this season finale of our Stronger from Home on mental wellness. So to guide us on this webinar, allow me to introduce our speaker for today, Sir Alec Cuenca. He is a motivational speaker, podcaster, and a content creator who aims to help Filipinos to start their personal brands. He is a transitional coach and helps people reach their personal goals through personal development. He also mentors coaches who want to learn how to grow their business using social media. My dear Deped colleagues, let us all welcome Mr. Alec Cuenca.
Good morning, everyone. To everyone who's watching, I hope you're having a great December 1st. And I just want to thank this opportunity for me to share my experiences and my insights on how to, balance the work life situation. I know COVID has been one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging situation that we've ever dealt with. And so I am honored to share with you some tips and tricks on how you could balance that work life structure. Now, before I actually get on and to share with you my my lessons, I will just pull up my screen and I will be back with you shortly. Ayan. Again, good morning to everyone here. And, as the host said, this is very critical kasi alam naman natin na talagang nahihirapan tayo when it comes to dealing with the COVID situation. But, as the time passes by, some of us have already learned to cope with it. And I, personally dealt with the whole situation, a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty. But I tried a lot of different methods on how we are able to balance our work, or our school, with the life that we have right now. So today's talk will be focusing all about building strength and resilience in stressful times. Now, I believe that building strength and resilience is one of the best things that you could do because this is not only for the pandemic itself. This can also help you with building that character of not giving up and moving forward with life. So, I remember one of my good friends. said to me when the pandemic was happening, take it one day at a time. And I didn't really know what that meant. We always hear this. Lagi naman natin tong naririnig. But when he said this, I didn't really know how to apply that in my life. And so, I took it as a normal advice. Minsan, pinakinggan, tas hinayaan lang, hindi naman in-apply. But I went on with my life. But I remember that this was also something that some of my friends back in high school and back in college were saying to me. And so, a little bit backstory. I was born and raised here in Olongapo City. And, I went here nung elementary, high school, I studied here in Olongapo. Now, my childhood was okay, if not dramatic, as some people would say. My mother went abroad, so I was left here with my father, and then the situation got complicated when I was growing up, because my father had a lot of vices. My father my father dealt with alcoholism, drugs, even gambling as well. And so there were a lot of times that I was kind of forced to be all by myself, and I had to take care of my brothers as well. But alam naman natin, as Filipino, we are resilient. So even as a child, I said to myself, gotta keep moving forward, gotta keep pushing on, gotta keep moving on. So that's what I did. And it was okay. Eventually, the situation got better. And then, I was having that normal high school life, puppy love, trying things out, doing a lot of our extracurricular activities. And then it all changed for me when it was time for me to choose a program for college. And back then, I didn't have any preferred option. I didn't have any dreams. I didn't have any goals. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grow up. So, when the time came that I had to choose for college, my mother saw an advertisement from Mapua, and it said, be an engineer in 4 years. And when my mother saw that, she said, Nak, why don't you become an engineer? And I said, okay. Since wala rin naman akong gusto, I didn't have any much choice. I said, okay, I'll be an engineer. So she sent this 16-year-old to Manila, not knowing how dangerous the streets were, not knowing how lonely it was to live alone, away from your family, not knowing how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. But still, sabi natin, resilient, strong tayo eh. Lalaki tayo, panganay tayo, breadwinner tayo, so kailangan matibay tayo. So I kept going. And so I entered Mapua. And by the way, math was one of my favorite subjects back in high school. But when I entered Mapua, it was a whole different situation. It was a whole different scenario. It was hard. And I still tried my best. And I was rewarded by Mapua with 2 failing grades. I failed basic algebra and I failed basic trigonometry. And when I failed that, I looked around and I saw most of the people around me are passing the subject. So that's when it all hit me that maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I can't do this. All my confidence was lost. All my self-esteem was broken. But still, I said, okay lang. I gotta be resilient. I gotta be strong. So tiniis ko pa rin. I acted like nothing was wrong. Back then, I also had a girlfriend which told me na, okay, I might be doing something right. meron naman pala akong nagagawang tama. And then dumating din sa point na when she was about to graduate after 4 years in college, she wanted to break up with me. And that's when my life shattered. Because at that moment, wala na talaga akong malapitan. Wala na akong makapitan. So what happened is I hit a point where I felt so alone. I didn't understand what was happening with my life, and I felt life was too much. And I'm sure that most of us, with the pandemic and with our mental health, also felt the same way. We feel alone. We feel like we don't know what's happening, what's gonna happen. And we feel like life is unfair. We're not doing anything bad, but this is happening to us. Some of us are experiencing that. Some of us are saying that. Some of us are feeling that as well. And I felt that too. But for me, I didn't know how to cope up with it. That was the time that I said, you know what? Maybe I'm not strong. Maybe I'm not resilient. So I hit my rock bottom. And it even came to a point where I said that my story would end here. Hanggang dito na lang. But then one miracle happened that prompted me to keep pushing forward. And I said to myself, kahit isang bagay lang ang makapitan ko, I'll keep moving forward. And so that's what I did. And on the day that I planned to end my story, I had a shift. Biglang nag-snap ako na this is wrong. This is not the end of my story. I will not let things or situations in my life dictate my life. This is my life. So I need to adjust. And so I snapped back. I snapped back to reality and told myself, I need to fix myself. I need to learn how to live with these times, with these feelings, with these problems. So I went back home and I hit a reset button. I enrolled back in Mapua. I went back to school. And then instead of me trying to play video games or watch basketball or watch series, what I did was I read books. I spent time in the library. I spent time studying about psychology, management, business, organizational skills, communication skills, success, happiness. I tried to study all of them. And little did I know that they were preparing me for a life that I have never ever expected. So fast forward, I started my passion project called Small Talk with Alec Cuenca. It's now one of the top podcasts here in the Philippines. I am now an events host. I am a content creator. I am a motivational speaker. And I am a mental health advocate. Now, why am I sharing to you my story? It's not to tell you that, you know what, I did it, I'm so good. No, it's not that. It's to tell you and remind you that you are not alone in the problems that you're facing. Will I be able to solve your problems, your issues, your adjustment, the changes? Probably not. But I'm here to remind you that we are all in this together. That we are all trying to figure it out. And so I also wanted to share with you some of the lessons that I learned along the way. And one of the biggest lessons was when we forget to take breaks, we break down. Sobrang higpit kasi natin sa sarili natin minsan. We're so strict with ourselves. And we would like to say na dapat ganito yung ginagawa mo eh. You know what you should be doing, pero hindi mo siya ginagawa. But even on the process of getting better, the process of healing, the process of moving on, we still need to take breaks because we're human. And when we forget to take breaks, we break down. We hit our rock bottoms. Now, in line with that, I want to share with you 5 tips on how you can build your strength and your resilience. The first one is accept your humanness. What I mean is tanggapin mo na tao ka. And when you learn to accept your humanness, and I'm not talking about like the good parts only, I'm talking about the unpleasant or the features that you don't want. When you accept that you're human, you accept everything for who you are. Lahat ng tao stress, lahat ng tao nagwo-worries, lahat ng tao natatakot. Everyone is experiencing that. And most of our struggles and frustration comes to the fact that we don't want to accept the negative emotions that we are feeling. Which is why the first way to really build long lasting strength and resilience and to balance it all out is to accept your humanness. To be human is to understand that there are certain things out of our control. Marami talagang bagay dito sa mundo na hindi natin ine-expect. Kahit anong plano natin, kahit anong work natin, there are certain things that are out of our control. For example, the pandemic. Hindi naman natin pinlano to, hindi naman natin ginusto to. At kahit anong pag-iingat natin, the virus is so strong na talagang kumalat siya. And ngayon, nagkakaroon pa ng iba't ibang variant. And now we are back in that cycle that we become stressed, we become fearful, we don't know how to react to change. But if we just understand that there are certain things out of our control, marami talagang bagay na hindi natin pinaplano, pero nangyayari. And to accept our humanness is to accept na kahit anong galing ko, kahit anong dasal ko, kahit anong gagawin ko, meron talagang mga bagay na labas na sa control ko. To be human is to learn to let go. And what are the things that we need to let go? The first one is we need to let go of our past. Marami dito ang na-stuck doon sa, marami sa atin ang na-stuck doon sa buhay bago magpandemya. And hinihiling natin na sana bumalik na sa dating pandemya, sa dating buhay nung wala pang pandemya. But the reality is, the pandemic has happened. And even though that life was so happy and it was so much better than the life that we're living right now, we can't really take things back, go back in time and try to relive that. And the longer that we hold on to our past, the longer that we are not accepting our current reality. The longer that we are not accepting the truth that we are living right now, the world that we are living right now. We have created versions of the world in our heads that we don't want to see the real version that is happening right now. Now, I'm not saying which ones are better, but I'm saying that this is actually real. This is actually happening. So, accepting your humanness is learning to let go of the past. And when you let go of the past, you accept the present and you give hope to the future. Sabi nga nila, to get over the past, you have to accept that the past is over. It's common sense, right? But it's so hard. A lot of you guys are saying, "But Alec, that's much easier said than done." Well, it is. I'm not saying it is easy. What I'm saying is it's possible. And we can get over our past. We can focus on our present. And the present thing is one of the things that we can control. How we react right now, how we respond right now, kung makikinig ba tayo dito at i-apply natin siya sa buhay natin, or hindi. It is up to us. Pero the moment that you're trying to change the past, that's the moment where you will feel helpless and hopeless. Dahil you can't do that. That's impossible. So to get over the past, you first have to accept that the past is over. The second thing is let go of your future. Wait lang, isn't the future something that we need to hold on to? I beg to disagree. It's okay to be hopeful on a certain extent. But if you focus on the futures most of the time, of your future most of the time, pansinin niyo, doon tayo mas nagiging anxious. Doon tayo mas nag-overthink. Doon tayo mas kinakabahan. Kasi masyado tayo nakakapit sa future. And the last thing that we need to consider is we need to let go of hope. Huh? Alec, akala ko we need to have that hope to keep us moving forward. Akala ko, Alec, hope is very important. Yes, it is. Okay, don't get me wrong. Hope is very, very important. But we should not let go. We should let go of our dependency on hope itself, because hope can be dangerous. Minsan, ang hope, pag we're hoping for something, our expectations changes. And when our expectations change, tumataas siya and it doesn't match the reality, we often get disappointed. We often get mad at the world for not being for what we hope it would be. So have hope in your heart, but don't rely on it. Don't focus on it. Instead of having hope, have faith. Hope is something that is in the future. Faith is something that you apply in your present. So have faith. Have faith na lahat ng nangyayari ngayon will make sense in the future. Have faith that the things you are doing right now will help you become a better person. Have faith that this will all make sense. This will all work out. And faith is not just you're hoping. Faith is believing that it is true. And that is true. As we've seen, lalabas at lalabas tayo dito sa mga problema kinakaharap natin, and we will figure it out. So have faith. Sabi nga ng isang favorite content creator ko, you are not ahead, you are not behind, you are exactly where you need to be. So when we understand this, we know that we are exactly where we are supposed to be in the current situation that we are in hearing this talk, in adjusting to the changes, in accepting the life that we have right now. This is where we should need to be. And if we understand that we're not ahead, we're not behind, we let go of hope. We have faith that we are in the right spot. Lastly, the last thing that we need to let go of is control. As I've said earlier, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. One of the biggest mind puzzling things that I've seen during the pandemic was there were people, okay, there were people, there were people that learned to adjust to the pandemic, and there are people who are still stuck and still the same nung nagsisimula ang pandemic. And I asked myself, bakit ganon? Kung lahat tayo naapektuhan ng pandemic, bakit may mga ibang tao na parang na kinakaya naman nila? Na they're learning to adjust. They're learning na kayanin ang nangyayari sa kanila. And I remember this quote, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Sometimes we're control freaks. Gusto natin nakokontrol natin yung mga bagay sa mundo natin. But the truth is, there are only things that are within our control, and there are only things that are there are things that are out of our control. And one of the things that are within our control is our reactions, our responses, our actions, our thoughts, our words. That's what we should be focusing on. Na kailangan imbes na gusto nating baguhin yung mundo, baguhin yung pandemya, baguhin natin kung ano ba yung magagawa natin ngayon. Can I change how I respond? Can I focus on what I respond? Can I adjust my words? Can I adjust my actions? The answer is yes. And you can change your reaction. You can change your responses. Instead of worrying, why not thinking of a way to prepare yourself? Instead of panicking, why not learn how to talk with someone? When we're overthinking, why not learn to ask for help? When we don't know what to do, why not ask someone and talk to someone? Because talking and asking, those are our reactions, and we have control over that. We can change the fact that there are so many things that we need to think about, but we can change the fact that we can talk to someone about it para matulungan tayo sa mental health natin. Now, the second way to build strength and resilience during this stressful time is to be kinder to yourself. Kung tatanggapin natin na tao tayo, kung tatanggapin natin na we're human, then we should be able to know na we have flaws, we have unpleasant features, we have imperfections, and kahit na alam naman natin minsan yung gagawin natin, hindi pa rin natin siya ginagawa. And that's okay. That's okay. We are human. We forget things. And we sometimes need reminders, just like this webinar, just like this series na ginawa ng DepEd. And the second most important thing that we could do to us, to build strength, is to be kind to ourselves. Self-kindness recognizes that being imperfect, failing, and experiencing life difficulties is inevitable. Alam natin what kindness looks like, right? Pag nakakita tayo ng nasa daan, tapos gusto nating tulungan, tutulungan natin siya. Pag lumapit yung best friend natin, tapos nang hingi ng advice, tutulungan natin siya. Pag lumapit yung younger brother natin, sabihin na, ayoko nang mag-modules, it's so hard, di ko na kaya to. Ang sasabihin natin, no, kaya mo yan. Halika, tulungan kita. Kaya mo yan. We are being kind to them. Hindi naman natin sinasabi sa kanila na, o nga, wag mo na subukan. Baka hindi talaga kaya ng utak mo. When our friend comes to us and asks us, am I looking good? We won't say na, oh, pangit. Wag mo na suotin yan. Wag na say na, I think that's okay. That's okay. You know, maybe we could try some other things, but that's okay. Ganda yan. We will support our friends. We will support our brothers and our sisters. So we're being kind to others. But why are we not being kind to ourselves? Bakit pag sa ibang tao, ang daling maging, um, mandaling sumuporta? Pero pag sarili na natin yung kailangan, bakit di natin sinusuportahan yung sarili natin? We gotta be our own best friend. We gotta be our own cheerleader. We gotta be our own brother, older brother, and older sister. Because that's what self-kindness is. Understanding that we're human and we make mistakes and it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to figure things out slowly and at our own pace. It's okay to experience the hardships because that's a part of life. Just by saying it's okay, that itself is self-kindness. And no, it's not saying that it's okay and wala ka nang gagawin and hahayaan mo na lang. It's okay is acknowledging and accepting the current situation. Because the only time you can fix a problem is once you start accepting it, that there is a problem that needs to be solved or to be addressed. The third way to build strength and resilience is to celebrate small wins. Ano ba yung celebrate small wins na yan? Ito yung plano natin sa taas. Most of us, akala natin ganito yung buhay. Ito yung goal ko, ito yung pangarap ko. Aabutin ko na siya. Diretso lang yan. Right? But the universe's plan for you is a lot. Minsan, magkakaroon tayo ng mga sirang kalsada along the way, bumpy roads ahead. Minsan, kailangan nating tumawid ng dagat. Like, just like, we can see in the drawing. And sometimes there will be storms along the way. And we need to climb ourselves out of the hole. But we can still reach our goals. We can still reach our plans. But the reality is there are so many things that we have not anticipated yet. So how do we celebrate small wins? If you can see in your screens, there are red flags. Okay, there are not the red flags na iiwasan mo, but they are actually signs na you have done something. Even though it's not the biggest thing in the world, but you have done something and you should celebrate them. So once makalagpas ka na sa mga bato-bato na yan, you will reach a flag. And in the flag points, that's when you should be celebrating your small wins. Because I realized that happiness and success are just stacks of small happiness and small successes. Minsan, pag meron tayong project, inisip natin, ay, pag natapos na to lahat, sige, mag-celebrate na ako. Pero hindi natin sinaselebrate yung fact na nakakuha tayo ng progress. Ay, natapos ko yung first grading. Dapat nag-celebrate na tayo nun. Natapos ko yung second grading, yung third grading, yung fourth grading. First semester, second semester. Natapos ko yung quiz. Natapos ko yung seat work. Natapos ko yung homework. Natapos ko yung isang task. We should reward ourselves for that. And I'm not saying this because I want to spoil you guys. I'm saying this because this is backed up by science. If we reward ourselves for the small things, our brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is that feeling good hormone. Right? So, mas sisipagin tayo, mas mamamotivate tayo. Mas gugustuhin natin na gawin ulit. Replicate yung result. Gawin ulit yung bagay na kailangan natin gawin. Kasi we are rewarding ourselves. Most of the people that I've seen that are being hit with the burnout is because they're not rewarding themselves. They're not rewarding themselves. So reward yourselves for any small win that you have experienced. Okay? So why do we need to celebrate small wins? First, it makes you feel happy. Sabi nga natin, dopamine, right? Second, it gives you motivation to keep going. And third, it builds your confidence. When your brain sees na, wait, I can do that? Maybe I can do it again. Now you're becoming more confident. Now you're gaining more momentum. because you're celebrating the small wins. Okay? So maybe pagkatapos nitong session na to, I know it's still it's Wednesday. Am I right? Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is Wednesday. So when kahit Wednesday pa lang, we should reward ourselves. We've got it past the half week. And it's December 1. Natapos natin yung October, ay yung November. Akala natin sobrang hirap na ng November, pero nalagpasan natin siya. We should celebrate that. We should be happy for that. Because if we are able to do that, we can do it again. So celebrate it. Right? And ito lang napansin ko sa mga tao. No? This is what I noticed. We like to dwell on the things that we did wrong, but we don't like to celebrate the things that we did right. And I think that's very wrong. We need to celebrate more than we dwell on our problems. Here's why you also need to celebrate small wins. It's called the power of tiny gains, okay? Akala natin if we want to be better, if we want to win in life, then we need to be significantly better. But the truth is, we just need to be 1% better every single day. Because 1.01, raised to 365, you repeat that every single day for 1 year, you'll be 31% better. But if you do 1% worse every day, mas bababa ka pa. Pero hindi natin napapansin na exponential pala ang growth natin. We just need to be 1% better every single day. So ask yourself, what is the best next viable option that can help you out? And you just need to focus on one thing. Okay? The fourth one, to help you build strength and resilience and to also manage your work-life balance, is to not overload your brain. Do not overload your brain. When we know what to say no to, we can say to the things that matter. And what do I mean when I say don't overload your brain? My point is stop using your phone too much. Stop spending time on social media too much. Heck, stop spending time on the news too much. Come to it from time to time. Check on reliable sources only. But if we are getting so much stressed dahil sa balita, then maybe kailangan bawasan na natin yung nagbibigay ng stress natin. Kung nagko-compare lang tayo on social media, nai-insecure lang tayo on social media, bakit yung iba naayos naman nila yung buhay nila, bakit ako hindi? And it makes us insecure, then we need to stop spending time on that. Because when we know what to say no to, we can say yes to the things that matter. Now we can focus on our mental health. Now we can focus on balancing things life, balancing our work and our life. If we learn how to say no to the things na hindi naman makakatulong sa atin. Okay? You need to set up your boundaries. Kung ano lang yung mahalaga sa'yo, dun ka lang mag-focus. Kasi kung hindi yan makakatulong sa mental health mo at sa sarili mo, you shouldn't give your energy and attention to it. Okay? Time is very, very important. So we should not take it for granted na sinasayang natin to sa mga bagay na hindi naman mahalaga para sa atin. The last one, to help you build strength and resilience, is to explore an old or a new hobby. There's this thing called leisure, you know. And sometimes we think at leisure as, pang mayayaman lang yung leisure na yan, ganyan. Pero leisure is something that is very helpful for our mental health. And you don't need to spend much to have a leisure in life. Leisure is something that you do or an activity that rests your mind, but also your body actively participates on it. So for example, There are a lot of people that are, um, profound people that also has leisure. See, Jesus rested out on the water. But before he rested out on the water, he'd like to take on long walks, right? So maybe that can be your leisure. You take long walks to relax your mind, to breathe in and out. Look at the nature. Maybe that's your leisure. Find a good spot and look at an overlooking view, or go to the beach and watch the waves, right? That can be your leisure. Seneca, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, wrote philosophical letters to his friends, writing, whether it's writing poems, or writing songs, or writing a story or a book, or even writing to your friends, messaging your friends. That can be a leisure, because your mind is resting but your body is doing something. And leisure is something that you can opt out anytime. You're not getting anything from it, but you're relaxing your mind, but your body is doing something. Okay? Cato used to relax with friends and wine, one of the greatest generals of all time. So kung gusto niyo mag-hang out, that's something that you can do as well with your family, with your friends. Have a good laugh. It's okay to have a good laugh. That can be your leisure. Saint Teresa loved to dance. Maybe gusto niyo mag-start ng TikTok account and magsabay-sabay sa mga trend on TikTok. 'Di ba? Yung mga bagay na hindi mo na ginagawa nung bata ka na pwede mo pa rin naman gawin ngayon. You can do it right now. That can be your form of leisure, and that can be helpful for your mental health. Chris Bosh taught himself to code. Basketball player. Pero nag-aral ng coding. You can learn a new skill. You can learn a new thing for your mental health as well. Einstein played the violin. So if you love playing music, that can be your leisure. But it's very important that we prioritize having fun. I'm not saying to have fun every time, every single time. Sometimes we need to get serious, but it's also not bad to have a good laugh, to have fun from time to time. So find the hobby, find your leisure, and do it once a week at least. If you can do it twice, then that's good. So, in building strength and resilience, again, these are the things that you need to remember. First one is accept your humanness. And we're all in this together. We're all human trying to figure it out. Second is be kinder to yourself. You gotta be your own best friend. You gotta be your own supporter. You gotta be there for yourself. Third, celebrate small wins. Makes you feel happy. It keeps you motivated. And you'll have more confidence in adapting to the changes that life is giving to you. Number four, don't overload your brain. Limit your inputs. If it's stressing you, say no to it. We can only say yes to the things that matter when we learn how to say no to the things that don't matter. And lastly, explore a new or a old hobby. Find your leisure. Have fun. Life is too short to be worrying about everything. Let go and find something and do something that will bring you peace for your mental health. Because if we take care of our mental health, we can now be more productive to the things that we need to do. So thank you so much for listening. That is all for my presentation. I am again greatly honored to share my experiences, my stories, and my lessons with you guys as well. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you will apply this in your life. If you have any questions, I'm not sure if we're gonna have a question and answer, but if you have any questions, you may send it to my email, aleccuenca@gmail.com, or follow me on Instagram at Alec Cuenca or at Small Talk Podcast. And yeah, send me a message, and I'll be open to answering and helping you all out. So again, DepEd, kay Sir Maher, to the team, thank you so much for allowing me to speak here and to share my insights. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you very much, Sir Alan, for that wonderful and informative discussion. And now let's proceed to the question and answer portion. For our participants, both in Google Meet and Facebook Live, please type in your questions through our chat box or comment section. Sir Alec is here to help and answer the question. Okay? So as I can see here on my end, meron po dito sa ating Zoom, Sir, tama po kayo pero bakit po ang hirap mag-let go of the past? Lalong-lalo na po kung ibinigay mo lahat at nagtiwala ka ng buo. Napakahirap po kasi kung yung dahilan kung bakit ka nagsusumikap at bakit ka inspired ay ang naging dahilan din bandang huli ng inyong sama ng loob dahil tinraidor ka at ginawan pa ng kwentong hindi totoo at pinasama or pinasama ka pa sa inyong lugar. Paano po tayo makaka-recover, sir, kung nawalan po, na po tayo ng mga tiwala dahil yung mga tao na pinagkakatiwalaan natin ay naging bahagi na rin ng mga planong pabagsakin tayo bagamat sila ay ginawan mo rin ng kabutihan. What can you say about this, Sir Alec?
Ayan. Unang-una, salamat Lamberto sa napakagandang tanong. And alam nyo na natutunan ko na minsan kahit wala talaga tayong ginagawang masama, yung ibang tao talaga meron at meron silang masasabi at minsan mas malala pa talagang paplanuhin pa nila na siraan tayo or para lang hindi tayo alam mo yun masira tayo. And um I guess for me what really is very important when it comes to this is to only focus on the things that are helping you out. Kasi na-realize ko, kahit anong trabaho natin, kahit anong gawin natin, meron at merong masasabi ang mga tao. Kaya mahalaga sa atin na alam natin kung sino ba ang taong pinapahalagahan natin. And minsan nag-iiba to. And minsan sarili lang natin to. And minsan isang tao lang to. At hanggat merong isang taong naniniwala sa atin, dapat dun lang tayo nakakapit. Siya lang ang papakinggan natin. Kahit anong sabihin ng ibang tao, alam ko before you got inspired by them, you were motivated by they were a part of your plan. But again, things have changed. And the earlier that you can let go. And again, ang letting go talaga mahirap. Letting go of the expectations, letting go of people, mahirap talaga. And I am not saying na kailangan ngayon i-let go mo na agad. Letting go is also a process. And hindi natin kailangan magmadali. Pero slowly, kailangan konti-kontiin na nating tanggapin na baka kailangan kong makita yon at maranasan yon para makita kung ano ba talaga yung tunay nilang kulay. Baka kailangan kong maranasan yon para makita kung ano pa yung dapat kong baguhin sa sarili ko na hindi masyadong nakadepende at nakatiwala sa ibang tao. Maybe may mga bagay ka pang matututunan sa sarili mo, kaya mo naranasan yun. If you focus on the pain will continue to grow. But if you focus on the lesson, you will grow. So, kahit gaano kalala ang nangyari sa atin, dapat ang tanong natin sa sarili natin, ano bang tinuturo sa akin ito? At pag yun ang tinanong natin, mas matututunan na nating mag-let go sa mga bagay-bagay.
Thank you very much, Sir Alex, sa talagang nakatulong po sa ating participant yung sagot sa kanila. Okay po. So we have another question here. Sir Alex, how does work-life balance impact on employee performance in organization? Or para sa inyo po, gaano po ba ka-importante itong work-life balance sa mga employees?
Yeah. Well, it's very very important. Any type of imbalance can cause our work performance to decrease and to be in a level that we're not proud of, right? And learning to with the lessons that I shared earlier, learning to find I don't necessarily think that there is a work-life balance per se na talagang magkahiwalay at ano. Para sa akin, work-life balance is something that you find na you can have fun in both. Okay, you can have fun in the work and have fun in your life. For me, that's what balance is. It's not. It shouldn't be two separate things. It can be one thing, and it can be something that you love to do. You love your life, and you love your work, right? So that for me is like the well balanced part of having that work life balance. So I think that's our challenge. That's the challenge to everyone right now. How can we learn to love our life and love our work as well? Kasi minsan kahit balanse naman tayo, hindi naman masaya. Like, okay, kompleto tulog mo, ito yung work na ginagawa mo, pero hindi ka naman masaya. Right? So, kailangan you find the happiness and the joy and the peace in your life and in your work. For me, that is the work-life balance. But in terms of performance, it is very, very important dahil there are a lot of studies confirming this na when you tend to focus on one thing only, when you hyperfixate on your work lang, right? And then you forgot to take care of your life, then chances are mababurnout ka. If you go to focus on your life and hyperfixate on your life, then you'll be procrastinating. You won't be motivated. You won't live a meaningful life or a purposeful life dahil you're not helping other people. So, if we are not looking into how can we find the peace in both, then that's gonna be a very hard thing for us. And hindi natin namamalayan na yung performance level natin bumababa na. And worse, talaga mahit tayo na burnout na kahit na we're passionate about the thing that we're doing, sabihin natin, ayoko na. Right? That's when the burnout hits. Kahit na this is our passion, teaching is our passion, helping people is our passion, meron pa ring passion burnout eh. Kasi hindi mo inaalagaan yung balance na dapat meron ka sa buhay mo.
Okay po, sir. Thank you, Sir Alec. Next question po here. Bakit, Sir Alec, may times na mahirap patawarin ang sarili natin but we can forgive others easily?
Yeah. Alam mo, feeling ko, kaya mahirap kasi hindi naman tayo naturuan kung paano. Nung lumalaki ako, ang laging sinasabi sa akin, forgive others. Forgive others. 7 times 77, sabi pa nga sa Bible. Laging ang ano sa atin, forgive other people, forgive them pag may ginawa sila masama sa'yo. Pero hindi nila tayo tinuruan kung paano dapat forgive yourself pag nagkakamali ka rin. We don't have that curriculum, that lesson in our lives. And so, I think it is hard dahil we don't know how to. But I think as we go on with life, slowly nakikita natin na, ay, nagkakamali pala talaga ako. Kahit anong galing ko, kahit anong sipag ko, nagkakamali pa rin pala ako. And so, for most of the time, it's really trial and error and applying self-compassion. But I'm really saying, it's hard. Kahit ako, minsan, pag nagkakamali pa rin ako, you know, binubugbog ko yung sarili ko na, ano ba yan? Dapat, alam mo naman yung dapat ko, hindi yung pag ginawa, ganyan. And hindi natin mapatawad yung sarili natin sa mga pagkakamaling nagawa natin. Pero kailangan kasi, we remind ourselves na tao lang eh. Minsan talaga, nagkakamali. And okay lang. Lahat naman tayo nagkakamali at one point. Kaya dapat, kahit mahirap, kayanin natin. Aralin natin kung paano natin mapapatawad yung sarili natin. Kasi we can be so much better. This is where our growth will start. Doon tayo mas magiging mas magaling, mas maayos na tao, and mas compassionate sa ibang tao. Dahil if we learn how to be compassionate with ourselves, we can now be compassionate with other people. So even though it's hard, and it is hard, I hope you slowly learn how to forgive yourself at your own pace. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Sobrang lalim ng mga katanungan ng mga participants natin ngayong araw. Oo, talaga po. So ngayon po, last two questions po. Itong next question po, sir, ay, Sir Alec, how can I challenge a thinking traps?
Hmm. I love that question. Ang ganda ng question na yan, ha? Okay. So, one way that you could challenge, thinking traps is to first three steps, okay? First is acknowledge that thinking trap. Minsan kasi denial tayo dun sa mga thinking traps na yun eh. So first way, sabi nga natin, the first way to solve a problem is to acknowledge that there is one. So, when that thinking trap is there, okay, acknowledge it. Okay? I'm not saying you listen to it or you follow it directly, but acknowledge it and say, okay, that might be a thinking trap. Now, second is doubt that. Doubt that thinking trap. Doubt that thought. Okay? Always remember that those thinking traps, they are just suggestions. Hindi yan utos na kailangan mong sundin. They are suggestions kung paano ka mag-isip at paano ka mag-act at paano ka magsalita. So you doubt that. Wait lang. Totoo ka ba? Baka meron pang ibang mas okay. Parang meron pang mas ibang mas maganda. Are you even real or ini-imagine lang kita? Okay? You acknowledge that it exists, pero now, the second step is you step back and you doubt that. Parang, okay, wait lang. Para mas may magandang paraan para dito. May mas magandang pag-iisip para dito. Now, the third one is to test that doubt. Do the opposite of that thinking trap. Think of another way aside from that thinking trap and do that. Okay, act on that. And pag nakita ng utak mo na, see, told you that that was wrong, that's there could be something better, you could do something else, then now you start to discern the thinking traps. Pero mahirap siya sa pinakaumpisa dahil nasanay tayo eh. Kaya nga siya trap eh. Because we got used to doing those things, right? And kailangan din, magkaroon din muna tayo ng process to step away from that. So in the early stages, lalo na yung pinakauna mong pag-acknowledge, pag-doubt, and pag-test ng ibang bagay, eh mahirap. Pero the more you do it, the more na may kita mo na no, you are learning to be more open to the different, thoughts and words that you have. So when that voice comes, when that thinking trap comes, you acknowledge it, you doubt it, and then you test the opposite of it.
Yan. Ayun po, sir. Ito na po yung last question natin, coming from the Facebook Live. Ito po, marami pong challenges akong napagdaanan. Both of my parents died this year that serve as my inspiration to be better. Sa tingin niyo po, how I will continue this life?
I think when we lose certain people from our lives and we lose certain inspiration of our lives, a part of us will always be there. And so we need to take care of ourselves first. Okay? If we want to move forward before we focus on helping others, helping helping our work, we need to be able to help ourselves first. So we need to Be there for yourself. And I'm not saying dwell on things, but allow yourself to learn to um, have faith that everything that is happening right now will make sense in the future. You can only connect the dots moving backwards eh. So kahit anong gawin mo, sabi nga natin na one when one door closes, another one opens, another window opens. So maybe this is the time for you to spend more time with other people or find other people as your inspiration. And maybe it can even be yourself, right? But again, being there for yourself and applying compassion is very, very important. And having faith that this will all make sense. Kasi minsan pag sinusubukan nating mas intindihin yung mga bagay-bagay ngayon, mas nababalulan talaga tayo. Kaya kailangan minsan, we just need to take it one step at a time. One day at a time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Alec, for that answer. And that's our last question. And before ending the session, um, may shout out po muna. So I just want to say hello po from Lilamaan Elementary School from Manawag District, Pangasinan. Sa mga taga Cotabato City na nanonood po ngayon, SDO Cotabato. We also have from Bugalon District, Pangasinan. We also have from Kidapawan City, Masbate Division, Naga City, and also thank you very much po for all the 423 comments positive this moment sa ating live, and also sa 79 participants din po na nag-share sa ating live. Thank you very much. And lastly po, sa mga nanood po dito sa Zoom, thank you very much din po. So before we end this session again, may we call back our guest speaker, Mr. Alec Cuenca, for last words or words of wisdom for our participants to take home this morning.
Yeah. Probably my last words, for this morning session is to um, always like for when it comes to our mental health and work and life balance, sometimes it's okay to be selfish. Okay, sometimes if we want to be selfless, then we need to be selfish first. Sabi nga nila, we can't pour from an empty cup. So if we want to truly help others, then we need to help ourselves first. That's the only time that we can give to other people, when we have given much love to ourselves. So be compassionate to everyone, be compassionate with yourself, and take it one day at a time. And thank you so much for everyone who watch on our Facebook live stream and who watch here on our Zoom meeting as well. Yeah.
Again, thank you very much, Sir Alec. And one participant here from Zoom said that thank you so much for Sir Alec for your brilliant and insightful presentation. And also thanks to Dep Ed Stronger from Home Mental Health Wellness Work-Life Balance. Thank you everyone, to our participants here in Google Meet, and of course to our FB Live viewers. I hope you learn a lot from the discussion of Mr. Alec. Thank you once again for your participation, and see you on the season 3 of Stronger from Home next year. For our Google Meet participants, please stay for another minute for some reminders. Goodbye, stay safe, and together, let's be stronger from home.